My name is Zanta and I work for Revit Products in Smyrna, Georgia. I am an Autodesk certified instructor and hold many certifications in multiple Autodesk products for the AEC industry. I hope you enjoy my screencast. If you'd like to see more of my screencasts, please search for VAR 2015, that's VAR 2015, or my name. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up after you're finished watching. In today's screencast, we will be looking at the Revit graphical user interface on the projects level. So here I have Revit started up and a default architectural project. In regards to the graphical user interface, I'll work my way from the top left and go down to the bottom right. This big blue R is called the application menu. When you click this, the context menu drops down, and the way this is set up is it has a left side and a right side. As you hover your mouse over a command on the left side, the right side will change and give you the options within. For example, if I ask you to export to CAD format, you can do so here. There are a couple icons, one called Recent Documents and one called Open Documents. If an icon is selected and it's functioning and active, it'll have a blue cyan color background. Otherwise, it'll be a gray background. This one is selected, so it tells me Recent Documents, and it lists all the files that I recently accessed in this session of Revit, starting from the most recent and going down to the oldest. You can push this pin here to keep the shortcut up, and so it doesn't drop off the list as new files are opened. You can change how this is displayed by access date, by size, and by type. If you switch to this icon, Open Documents, it lists all the files that you have open in this session of Revit. You can click any one of the lines of text and it will jump to that particular file. You have the options of the software, so if you click options here, it will open up the options window and give you access to things like save interval reminders, the user interface, the graphics display capability, so on and so forth. If you need to get out of the software, you can hit the big blue R and hit Exit Revit, or you can hit the X up here in the upper right hand corner. If you hit this X, it's just closing the current view of the current Revit project. This is called Quick Access Toolbar. This gives us quick access to most common commands like open and save to central, and you can customize this and you can add commands to it and so on and so forth. On the right hand side you have the information toolbar, and in here there's a search field. You can type whatever you want, say for example wall, and hit enter, and it will take you to the help menu online to the most logical solution that it can find, and you can learn all about it. The search button here is the same thing as hitting enter. You have the subscription center key here that tells you if your software is on subscription or not. You have the communication center icon that gives you information about what's going on in the world of Revit and Autodesk. You have a favorites, you have your login capability, you have access to Exchange apps, and to the help menu. You have the ribbon. The ribbon is set up where it has panels and tabs such as architecture, structure, so on and so forth. Inside these tabs are panels: structure, foundation, reinforcement, build, circulation. Inside the panels are commands: wall, door, window, so on and so forth. Some panels have a name. Some panels have a name with a little black arrow next to the name. If you click this, it will open up a sub-panel that you can pin down and have access to other commands. Some panels have a little arrow to the lower right corner pointing to the lower right corner, and if you click that arrow, it will take you to the properties of that panel. Some commands are single commands like door, window. Others are multi-commands like wall, where you'll have a sub-menu that drops down and gives you other commands that are related to that command. You have the options toolbar, which is contextual by nature, and it only shows up when you're in a command or if you have objects selected. If you're not in a command, it goes blank. You have the project browser here. Think of this as your Windows Explorer view of looking at your model and everything that's inside. As you create and work with the software, just remember that in Revit you're building everything as 3D. Even though I'm in a level 1 floor plan, the content that I'm creating is actually 3D. And I can obviously double click any view that I want in the project browser to get to that view. You have the actual working view here, and you have the view control toolbar here that controls what scale the information is to be presented on a sheet of paper, the level of detail for coarse, medium, or fine. And for example, depending on what you're working with, you can see if you go from coarse to medium or fine, you'll see the difference. So here we have coarse, here's medium, and depending on the object, so for example, if I look at a structural column and place it, let's zoom in. If it is at coarse level, it's just line work. If I take it to medium, it looks like this. If I switch to fine, you'll start to see the curvature as well. You have the modeless property palette window here that displays all the property information about either the view or the object you have selected. You also have the type properties command window here that gives you access to the type properties of the object versus the instance property information of the object. And then lastly, you have the type selector here that allows you to select and change and make different objects of different types by just functioning and working with that. You have the status toolbar down here at the very bottom. The black text that you see in the lower left corner is your command line. It really just gives you feedback and helps you understand what it is that you're trying to work with and what the next steps are going to be. You have a couple icons for work sets and for design options, and then you have icons to toggle on and off certain features of how you select things, such as selecting links, underlay elements, so on and so forth. So this is a quick overview of the Revit graphical user interface. Again, thanks for watching my screencast, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up.